but the quality of service is despicable and deplorable. The fact that for 18 months, state employees, people who were on the payroll with dollars that came out of your pocket and my pocket, were sexually abusing children within the Texas criminal justice system ought to make us all cringe. 18 months, administration within the Texas Youth Commission knew that those children were being sexually abused and didn't do a thing to fix it. For a year, clients at a state-run mental health facility in Corpus Christi, Texas, were woken up in the middle of the night and brought to the common area and pushed and cajoled to fight like cock roosters for a year on the payroll of you and me, and administration did nothing until the police department found that lost. Do y'all know that story? One of those employees lost their cell phone, and the phone got picked up by the local police department, and when they looked at the phone, they found the videotape, and they questioned the guy. He worked at that facility, and he was videotaping those fights, and when they began to interview the staff there, those fights had been going on for a year. I've worked in those facilities. You go home tonight and everybody looks fine. You're the director of nursing there. You come back the next day, somebody's got a black eye or a bloody lip. You better be asking what's going on. That went on for a year. That dirty underbelly is in every department within the state of Texas. You cannot blame individual employees. The buck stops at the top. You set the tone for excellence. We deserve better than that as Texans. If I'm going to take $1 off of your table, then I better need it, and I better use it wisely and frugally, and we better deliver excellent service. It's my money, and I want to keep it too. And I want you to keep yours and educate your kids how you want to. I want to close with a story. I interviewed some months ago with a man named Gabriel Bruzone. My husband Noe and I grew up in Beeville, Texas, large Hispanic community there, lots of Garcias, Gonzalez's, Pettis, a few Medinas, no Bruzones. Mr. Bruzone is the editor of a Spanish-language weekly newspaper in Austin, Texas, and I was very curious about the origin of his name, so as I got there for that interview that day, I asked him where he was from, and he told me he was from Cuba. And I thought the table in that interview just turned. I was very curious to know how you got out of Cuba. He said he was a Christian missionary. He had gone to Ecuador, and from Ecuador he had legally immigrated here. He's now the editor of El Mundo newspaper in Austin, Texas. And I have often thought, as I said earlier, when the isms come, we'll think they come with purple spots or like a leper. We'll recognize those ideals, and here sits an average guy that grew up in a communist dictatorship, and his family had been there for 4 generations. And so I said to him, Mr. Bruzone, if I had taken a picture of you, sir, standing on the street in communist dictatorship Cuba, and I took a picture of you today standing on the street in Constitutional Republic, Austin, Texas, could you tell me what's the difference between the man in Cuba and the man here? And he said the man in Cuba had no dreams. Everything was free. Healthcare was free, education was free, but we had no dreams. I couldn't plan where I would live, where I would go, what I would do, where I would work. We had no dreams. We're at a place in our country where our children almost have no dreams. The government has taken and taken and taken. We have a great opportunity. We have a great opportunity because of the awareness, because you're standing shoulder to shoulder, not just with fellow Texans who see the isms coming to America, but with people all across our country. Dig in, work hard, elect citizen leaders. Texas has an opportunity to change not just our course, but the course of our nation. We will not do it with the status quo, and it will not be perfected in 4 years. But you put Debra Medina in as your governor, and you do it with a resounding victory on March the 2nd, and I promise you, you will change the political landscape in the United States of America. hard will you work? Early voting starts Tuesday, 3 days from now. Bumper stickers are great, t-shirts are great, buttons are great. Votes count. Everybody lives in a precinct, a small community. Make a list of the people that you know that think like you do and they're likely to vote for the same candidates, or that you know will be voting for the candidate that you support. And on Thursday or Friday of this next week, you take that list and you go down to the courthouse, because did you know the list of people who have already voted is public record? You can go on Friday with your list, just like Santa Claus, and you can match it up to those people who have already voted. If your friends and your neighbors and your family members are not on that list, and you get on the phone over the weekend and you make sure that they go vote. Don't ask them if they voted, because people will tell you yes they have when they have not. You go check that list, or 3 or 4 or 5 of you get together and you all make your own list and you send a proxy down there to check the list of people who have voted, and then you come back next weekend and you get on the phone. Early voting runs Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. If you wait till March the 2nd, chances are few of you will vote. 60% of the vote is cast in early voting. Get out there, elbow grease, shoe leather. Votes win races. You turn out the vote, we'll change the course of history, not just for Texas, but for the country. Thank you very much.